Good morning on this Tuesday, the 7th of October, 2024. Before I start, let me just say this, that YouTube is really heavily clamping down on people. And even sites like the Duran are asking people to like and subscribe to try to beat the or to improve the algorithm, because a lot of people are being shadow banned. Now, I'm sure everyone all over the world has heard of the ID cards being implemented in Great Britain by Starmer. And here's something that I found deep on the internet. Someone had posted, and I can't remember who it was, but it seems that Starmer has painted himself into a really bad corner. And he wants to mandate digital ID for every Briton. And he dresses it up into two slogans: preventing fraud and stopping illegal working. And Blair, the famous Fabian, and if you don't know who or what the Fabian Society is, I suggest you look it up. And he used the same lines in 2004 when he tried and failed to push ID cards. Now, here's the trap that Starmer seems to be falling into, and he shouldn't be, because he is a civil rights lawyer. And Britain, even though we left the EU, we are still tied to the ECHR, which is the European Convention on Human Rights. And Article 8 protects our privacy. And Article 14 bans discrimination. And Strasbourg has already ruled against blanket DNA and biometric databases in two law cases from 2008 and 2020, which says you cannot strip people of their livelihoods or force them into surveillance on pain of starvation. Any mandatory ID tied to work or survival would fail the ECHR tests of legality, necessity, and proportionality. And it gets worse for Starmer. Under the UN's Agenda 2030, states have pledged to provide legal identity for all, including birth registration. And that language was written to protect migrants, stateless persons, or refugees. It means digital ID cannot be lawfully used to exclude foreign workers from jobs or services. It has to empower them. So, if Starmer sells his scheme as a way to block illegal working, he's trampling over the very human rights treaties he boasts of upholding. So, what are his choices? He could quite possibly leave the ECHR, but then again, that unlocks the opposite of his Fabian wet dream. Outside the convention, Britain could indeed deport en masse, shut borders, and sweep away the legal brakes on state power. But Labour will never do that, because the Fabian Society project depends on international treaties and courts to entrench their system above democratic challenge. Or he could stay in the ECHR, but then once he does that, his hands are tied. The judges in Strasbourg have already said you cannot keep a citizen's DNA. You can't roll out facial recognition without safeguards, and you can't discriminate against migrants. By that precedent, he can not compel digital ID without being dragged through the courts. And then there's Agenda 2030 itself. It locks in digital ID as a protection for migrants, not a punishment. So we can't use it against them either. So it seems Starmer's digital ID agenda is a Fabian society mess or cock-up. It can't lawfully be enforced on migrants. It can't lawfully be enforced on the citizens without leaving the ECHR. And leaving the ECHR would destroy his arguments against deportations. Whatever way he goes, he's trapped or boxed in. And the only way he can get his way is if we let him bluff us into believing this is inevitable. It isn't. So, thank you for listening on this Tuesday morning on the 7th of October. Please go and look up the Fabian Society. You'll be surprised at what it entails. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.